Would you imagine that the most perfect man, Muhammad, even his parents are supposedly in hell?
Yeah, well, let's imagine the alternative. Okay, so you're saying it's problematic that the Prophet ﷺ is acknowledging that his father was a disbeliever and he's in hell. The alternative is that the Prophet ﷺ says, "My father's in heaven," and then the Sahaba, they would say, "But wait a second, your father was a polytheist. He was an idolater. So how's he in heaven? The only real."
No, the Prophet's parents, especially his father, was not a polytheist, nor was he an idolater. So the Sahaba would never say that to the Prophet in the first place because his parent, especially his father, was not an idolater or a polytheist. You Sunnis literally have zero respect for the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his family, and you insult his father with no shame whatsoever. We look here at the Quran in chapter 26, verse 219. It says, وَتَقَلَّبُكَ فِي السَّاجِدِينَ, and your movements among those who prostrate. Okay, who are those who prostrate? According to Sunni and Shia tafsir, it says that the Sajideen are the righteous monotheists amongst the ancestors of the Prophet, and this includes his father. Ibn Abbas, cousin of the Prophet, says that this verse means the Prophet was transferred from the loins of believing men to believing women into their wombs. So this is Tafsir Durr Mansur by Jalaluddin As-Suyuti, volume 5, page 300, underneath this verse of chapter 26, verse 219. And we also look here at Kitab al-Tawheed by Shaykh As-Sidduq, page 152, where Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Yabna Rasulullah, by God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never placed the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa in the loins of polytheists. So no, it is not an Islamic belief that the parents of the Prophet were idolaters or that they're going to hell. In fact, they were monotheists who followed the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Maybe you Sunnis believe that the Prophet's parents are in hell. That's up to you guys, right? You can answer for that on the Day of Judgment. But we have narrations from the Prophet and his family that tell us that the Prophet's parents, especially his father, were Muslim.